Hello, my dear students. I hope you all are in sound health. Our today's topic is forming WH questions. In previous session, we had learned rule number 1. In today's session, we will learn rule number 2. So let's begin. Our today's topic is forming WH questions. In previous session, we had learned rule number 1, and we also had known a sentence has two parts. One is subject and another is predicate. Today we will know about rule number 2, and rule number 2 says if you ask about the predicate of the sentence, then we have to use what, which, when, where, why, whom and how. That means if you ask about the predicate of the sentence, predicate is the part of a sentence which contains the verb and gives information about the subject. So in that case, we are going to use what, which, when, where, why, whom, how. So now when you want to form a question about the predicate of the sentence, there are three ways, and they are: number 1, if there is a helping verb, that means auxiliary verb, that precedes the main verb, then we add the question word and invert the subject and the helping verb. Number 2 is if you ask about the predicate and there is no helping verb and the verb is to be, simply add the question word and invert the subject and the verb. And number 3 is if there is no helping verb in the predicate and the main verb is not to be, add the auxiliary do in the appropriate form. We all know that if the subject indicates any action or thing or idea, then we use what. Now, if the predicate indicates same thing, what will happen? Let's see. If the predicate indicates any action or thing or idea, then we have to use what. The structure of this rule is what plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus extension. There are some examples. Number 1, she is teaching us English. Here the highlighted word is English and it is the predicate of this sentence. English indicates a thing or subject, so we have to put what. Now after what, we have to put is, the auxiliary verb, then the subject she, and then the main verb teaching, and then the rest of the sentence or extension you. Us will become you in WH question, and why this happened we discuss it in the previous session. Now number 2, she eats rice. Here the highlighted word is rice, and rice is the predicate of this sentence and it indicates a thing, so we have to put WH word what. Now we have to keep in mind that here in this sentence we cannot see any helping verb and to be verb. Now in this case we have to put the do verb according to person and tense. Here the subject is she and it is third person singular number, and the statement she eats rice is in present form, present indefinite tense, right? So that's why we have to use does, because she is the third person singular number. For she we have to put does, then the subject she, after that the main verb it, and lastly we have to put the question mark. Number 3, I eat rice. Here is also the highlighted word is rice. It is the predicate of this sentence and it indicates a thing. So obviously in forming WH question we have to put what, and here is also we cannot see any to be verb or any helping verb, and I is the subject of this sentence, and I is in the first person singular number, so we have to put do, then the subject you, I will become you, and after that the main verb eat, and lastly we have to put the question mark. So what do you eat? Then I ate rice. Here this statement is in past form, the predicate is rice and it is highlighted at it and it indicates a thing, and here the subject is I, so we have to put what, and after that because of the tense we have to put did, then the subject you, and then the main verb eat, lastly we have to put the question mark. In previous session we had learned that if the subject indicates any specific choice or thing, then we have to put which. Today we will going to know what happen if the predicate of the sentence indicates such things. So the rules is, if the predicate indicates any specific thing or choice, then we have to use which. The structure of this rule is which plus noun plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus extension plus question mark. So some examples are, I bought this book yesterday. Here the highlighted words are this book, and this book indicates a specific thing or my choice. So this book is the predicate of this sentence. Now in this sentence we cannot see any auxiliary verb or to be verb. Now in this case we have to put the do verb according to person and tense. The subject is I, that means the first person singular number, and the sentence is in past form, so we have to put did. First of all we have to put which, then the noun book, after that the auxiliary verb did, then the subject you, after you we have to put the main verb that is buy, and the rest of the sentence yesterday, and lastly we have to put the question mark. So the answer will be, which book did you buy yesterday? After that, he wants that book. Here the highlighted word is that book, and that book indicates a specific thing. So here we cannot see also that here we cannot see any helping verb and to be verb, so we have to put what? Do verb, right? According to tense and person. So the subject is he, that means it is third person singular number, and the statement is in present form, so we have to put does. Then the answer will be which, then the noun book, then the auxiliary verb does, then we have to put the subject he, and after that the main verb want, and lastly we have to put the question mark. Which book does he want? Now, rule number 3. If the predicate indicates any time, then we have to use when. The structure of this rule is when plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus extension plus question mark. The examples are: he will come home tomorrow. Here the highlighted word is tomorrow. Tomorrow indicates time. So whenever the word indicates time, we have to put when. Okay, we have put when. Then there is a auxiliary verb will. We have to put this verb will, then the subject he, and lastly the main verb come, and after that we have to put the question mark. When will he come? The second example is: I bought this 2 years ago. Here the highlighted words are 2 years ago. It obviously indicates a time, so we have to put when. After that, we can see here there is no to be verb, no auxiliary verb. So we all know that when there is no to be verb and no auxiliary verb, we have to put the do verbs according to tense and person. But this statement is in past form, past tense, so that we have to put the did verb. So the answer is: when did you bring this? We use where if the predicate of the sentence indicates any place or location. The structure of this rule is where plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus extension plus question mark. The examples are: he lives in Dhaka. Here the highlighted words are in Dhaka and it indicates a place, so we have to use where. Now look at this sentence. Here we cannot see any to be verb and we cannot see any auxiliary verb. So according to rules, we have to put do verbs, but according to person and tense. So look at the subject. The subject is he. That means it is third person singular number, and this sentence is in present form, present tense. So we have to put does. Then we have to put the subject he, and after that the main verb live. So the answer is: where does he live? Then I come from Sylhet. Here the highlighted word is Sylhet. It indicates a place, so we have to put where. Now look at this sentence. In this sentence we also cannot see any auxiliary verb or any to be verb, so we have to use do verb. Look at the subject. The subject is I. That means it is first person singular number, so we have to put do. After that the subject you, then the main verb come, and after that rest of the sentence, that means come from. The answer is: where do you come from? Look at the next example. We shall go to Sylhet next week. Here the highlighted words are to Sylhet. Okay, now it indicates a place, so we have to put where. Now here we can see the auxiliary verb shall. Shall become will in WH question, so the answer will be: where will you go next week? Now we use why if the predicate of the sentence indicates any reason. The structure of this rule is why plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus extension plus question mark. There is some examples. First one is I want to go to school because I love my school. Here the highlighted words are because I love my school, and it indicates what? A reason, right? So we have to put the WH word why. Now look at this sentence. We cannot see any auxiliary verb and to be verb. For that reason we have to use the do verbs and look at the subject. The subject is I, that means first person singular number, and we use do for first person singular number. So why do I will become you in WH question, then the main verb want, then the rest of the sentence to go to school, and lastly we have to put the question mark. The next example is they went to market to buy some clothes. The highlighted words are to buy some clothes. This indicates a reason, so we have to use why. Now look at the sentence. We cannot see any auxiliary verb and to be verb, and the sentence is in past form, so we have to use did, and the answer will be why did they go to market. Now we will know the use of how. If the predicate of the sentence indicates any method or price or age or distance or duration, then we have to use how. Structure of this rule is how plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus extension plus question mark. Some examples are I go to school by bus. Here the identified or highlighted words are by bus. That means it's a method, right? So we have to use how. Now look at this sentence. We cannot see any auxiliary verb or to be verb, so we have to use do verbs according to person and tense. So we put do because of the subject I, and then the subject you, after that the main verb go, then the rest of the sentence to school, and lastly we have to put the question mark. How do you go to school? Next example, she went home by car. Here the highlighted words are by car. It means a method, so we have to put how. Now the sentence is in past form and we cannot see any auxiliary verb and any to be verb, so we have to use did. Then the subject she, after that the main verb, and then the extension, and lastly we have to put the question mark. So the answer is how did she go home. Then he is 33 years old. Here the highlighted words are 33 years. It indicates age, so we have to use how old. After that the auxiliary verb is, and then the subject he. Then so the answer is how old is he. Then he gives me 3 books. Here the highlighted words are 3 books. It indicates number, right? Number, and it's in countable noun. So whenever whenever any word indicates number and that refers to countable noun, we have to put how many. So the answer will be how many, then the noun books. After that we have to use does because we cannot see any helping verb or to be verb. Then the subject he, and after that the main verb give. So the answer will be how many books does he give. Come to the next example. She gave me 200 staka. So here
200s is highlighted and it indicates price. So we have to put how much taka, and the sentence is in past form, so we have to put did. After that, the subject she, and then the main verb give. How much taka did she give? Coming to the next example, the station is 2 kilometers far from here. The highlighted words are 2 kilometer far, and it indicates what? Distance. So we have to use how far, then the auxiliary verb is, then the subject, the station, then the rest of the sentence from here. Lastly, I have been waiting for you for 3 hours. Here the highlighted words are for 3 hours and it indicates duration. So we have to use how long, then have you been waiting for me. Answer will be how long have you been waiting for me. Now we will know about a very important WH words, that is whose. We use whose when the highlighted word or words indicate some belonging of person or animal. The rules, the structure of this rule is whose plus noun plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus extension plus the question mark. Some examples are: this is Maria's jacket. Here the highlighted word is Maria's. That means the jacket belongs to Maria. So we have to put whose, then the noun jacket, after that the auxiliary verb is, and then the subject this. Whose jacket is this? This pen is mine. Here the highlighted word is mine. That means that pen belongs to me. I'm the owner of this pen. So we have to put whose, then the noun pen, after that the auxiliary verb is, and then the subject this. That's all for today. Practice these WH words and forming WH questions regularly. See you in my next session. Till then, be safe, take care of yourself, and stay at home. Thank you.